I turned them on before I left the house. Good morning again, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Everyone, like the video. I told you guys we were close to the beach. Yeah, the Cocaine 1 number. Okay. Well, yeah, that one does matter. Hello? Yeah, that one matters because I forwarded it to that number. Did you call the Cocaine 1?
No.
Oh, yeah, you got to call that one, the 888 Cocaine 1 number. Because that's the one I forward to that line. You guys can't know the secret numbers to the bank lines. It's our top of the hour break. We'll be on the air in just a minute. Did it go to voicemail? 888 Cocaine 1? 888 465 2631? It should, 888 465 2631. There we go. You there? Okay, yeah, that worked. Thanks. We do a test on the phone every morning before we go on the air. I usually do it myself before I start the stream, but forgot.
iwilladvocates.com. That's iwilladvocates.com.
All righty.
Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida.
Oh, man.
Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You know, I had lost this shirt for a while in my closet, and I finally found it. My Space Force shirt. Make space great again. Is that a cool shirt? Make space great again. Yes. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. It's 4 minutes after 6 o'clock in the morning. We've got a lot to talk about today. Oh, man, and we have a special guest calling in towards the end of the program today. Not going to tell you who, just in case that it gets rescheduled. But we have a VIP guest joining us later in the program. Steve Kane, of course, will be joining us in progress as well. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the news this morning. In fact, there's so much going on in the news. I did something that I don't do very often. I pulled over on my way into the radio station this morning. I pulled over into a 7-Eleven gas station and did a live stream on YouTube talking about this huge news that's going on. That is one of the things we're going to talk about this morning on the radio. Fox News has been attacked by an arsonist. Fox News in New York City. The Fox News Christmas tree was burned down around midnight by an arsonist. And let me read this story. This is from a CBS station in Las Vegas, and I'll tell you in a minute while I'm reading why I'm reading Las Vegas news about an attack on Fox News in New York City. Several media reports show a large Christmas tree in Midtown Manhattan on fire. According to reports, this is the Christmas tree that sits outside of Fox News studios on West 48th Street and 6th Ave. New York City is reporting police quickly arrested a man but have not confirmed his involvement in lighting the fire. There was also a tweet put out, urgent emergency crews responding. This was late last night. Emergency crews responding to a large Christmas tree fire at Fox News headquarters in New York City. Several streets surrounding the tree has been blocked. At least one person has been detained. The exact cause of the fire is still unknown. They have arrested someone. I've got updates from this story. So there has been an individual, not detained, arrested. An arsonist has been arrested for lighting the Fox News Christmas tree on fire. And I saw this story when I first woke up this morning. I had some work I had to do. I got up a little early today. I got up at 3. And one of the first places I go every morning is the New York Post. I go to the New York Post because the New York Post is always great news. And they had the Fox News Christmas tree fire right on the front page of the New York Post. And there were not a lot of details. So I read the story. They did say one man was arrested. They didn't identify them. So then I go to the Fox News webpage and Fox News app, and it was not even on the Fox News website or the Fox News app that their Christmas tree had been burned down hours before, because this happened around midnight-ish. And Fox News has a live news show that goes on live on television at 4 a.m., which I never watch. I never watch. It's nothing that by the time that 4 a.m. comes around, I know all the news they're going to report because I've been through all the news already at that point in the morning. But I turned it on today on my television in my living room because I wanted to find out about the latest on the arsonist who lit the Fox News Christmas tree on fire and burned it down. And it was not even their lead story. They mentioned it, but it was like their third, fourth, fifth story was the Fox News Christmas tree fire. And here we are about 6 hours later, and no media outlet has yet told us who the person arrested was, who the arsonist was. And there's no way they don't know. This is New York City, okay? Fox News has their national setup there. They've got the local Fox News affiliate. They've got the New York Post. The New York Post is very well connected. They do their booking blotter there in the New York Post. They know who was arrested, and they're not sharing it with us. So I believe Fox News was targeted. I believe the Fox News Christmas tree fire, I don't care what they report later in the day, they're giving us no information now. At this point, I would consider it to be a media cover-up of a humongous news story. There's no way that was just a random thing of violence. And I tell you, I was pretty pissed at their live broadcast this morning. They mentioned it at the top, and then it was about their third, fourth, fifth story. They reported it with a little piece of video, and that was it. And before that, they did stories on the crime wave snatch and grab shoppers in California and New York. They played the clip of that idiot mayor in Chicago blaming the stores for being robbed in Chicago, and they were laughing about it. And their story that happened is right outside their window. They barely showed a second or two of video of it that someone looked like they took on a cell phone cam. Fox News should do all of their programming today outside in front of the tree. If this were the Christmas tree in front of NBC or CNN, believe me, they would be doing it. If a MAGA person did something like this to CNN or MSNBC, they would be identified by now. We would have their mugshot on television. Their social media would already be... This happened 6 hours ago. Their social media would be out there. But even Fox News is covering this up at this point. Now, they're not going to be able to keep a lid on it forever. It'll come out, and it may develop as I'm on the air. So if any of you out there in the listening audience pick up details on who was arrested for attacking Fox News' Christmas tree, and is that a hate crime? If you target a Christmas tree, I know people will say it's not a religious symbol and all of this. No, a Christmas tree is part of Christmas, and Christmas is a religious holiday. It's a day that Christianity has chosen to recognize and celebrate the birth of Jesus. So it's an attack on an object that represents the birth of Jesus and that special day of Christmas. Is that a hate crime? And also on top of that, if Fox News was targeted because they're viewed as conservative, does that make it a hate crime? And I'll tell you, the Fox News Christmas tree this year, they seem to me to make a big production out of it on Fox News this week. I know they've had Christmas trees before, but it seemed like this year there was a lot of buildup the last few days for the Christmas lighting ceremony over the weekend for the Fox News Christmas tree. And there was a lot more publicity around it than we normally get for the Fox News Christmas tree. So if I believe this was a leftist, I'm not going to put any affiliation on the leftists, but it certainly wasn't some MAGA guy that they arrested. And it's certainly not an a random act of arson, because there's more high-profile Christmas trees. And they're not even telling what is involved in setting a fire like that. My goodness. They have security, they have police around 24 hours a day around there anyway, but setting a fire like that ain't easy. So if any of you out there pick up any information so far as who was arrested and their motivations for the attack on Fox News Channel's Christmas tree, please give me a call, because I want to keep going on. I got a lot of other stories I'm going to get into, but I want to keep up to date on what is going on. Now, before I get into the updated stories, and there's a lot going on here. The White House did something that was just frightening yesterday. I'm not talking about the Putin phone call. We'll get to that too. But something happened with the White House yesterday that was absolutely frightening. In fact, it's the thumbnail and title of my YouTube live stream today. Those that watch us on YouTube, the White House had a secret meeting with the mainstream media, and Biden demanded that they fall in line. And I'm going to talk about that in some detail with your calls at 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. But first, I've been telling you guys for a week or so that one of our longtime loyal listeners, Sarah, has been in the hospital for almost 2.5 weeks now with COVID. She went with us on our last cruise. When she calls in, Sarah from Colorado, and I know a lot of people in this listening audience know her because she's a very active participant in our chat rooms each day on YouTube and has been for years now. She is still in the hospital with COVID. My wife and I are in touch with family members of hers, including her mother, who text messages us with updates. And Sarah is very much in need of prayers from everyone in this listening audience. And it's been heavy on my mind. I know a lot of your mind. Steve's been calling me like 5 times a day with updates, and I don't have that many updates, but I give him as many updates as I can get. But Sarah was put on a ventilator a little more than a day ago. I think it might be 2 days at this point that she was put on a vent, and so she was doing better, and she texted me. I think Thursday, Friday last week while I was on the air. She texted me before I went on the air, and she was back watching us on YouTube, which she had not been doing for a few days because she was too sick. So she was getting better, but it's getting a little more difficult for her right now. She's on a ventilator. So she does know that you guys have been praying for her, and she has asked that you continue to do this. But we would ask you to do it anyway, and I know you would do it even without her asking, but please do. Over 2 weeks in the hospital is a long, long time. All right, I'm going to take our first break, and when we get back, I'm going to get into this secret meeting that Biden had with the mainstream media. And if anyone gets updates on this situation going on with the attack on the Fox News Christmas trees, in particular, if they identify who was arrested, I'd very much like to hear from you. Our number is toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-CANE 1. That's 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. 31. It is a toll-free call no matter where you are listening to us from. All right? We'll take that break, and we'll be right back after this. Do not go anywhere.
AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
This is Steve Kane. I'm sitting here with my good friend and my attorney, Barry Siegel of the Siegel Law Group. Barry, you offer a service called Elder Law. And since I'm getting up there in years, I'd like to find out exactly what that is and when and if I need it.
Sure, Steve. Elder law, think of it as asset protection.
Be right back, guys. I got to get a
As we
glass of water.
age and get into our retirement years, the number one concern or threat to our assets is the cost of long-term care. Care either at home, in an assisted living facility, or in a nursing home can be very, very expensive. And it can eat away at your assets. It can even deplete your assets to nothing. Imagine if you lose all your assets, you have to go into a facility and your spouse at home has nothing left. Or you may end up not having any assets left to leave to your loved ones. So with elder law, we are able to look at different government benefits that may be available to you or your spouse, such as Medicaid or veteran benefits. And even if you don't think that you're eligible for these benefits, you'd be surprised. That's what elder law attorneys do, is we help people who may not be eligible at this point become eligible so that they can protect their assets for themselves, their spouse, and their loved ones.
Well, it sounds like a really great idea. I suggest you call my attorney, Barry Siegel, and I'll be glad to set up an appointment and explain everything to you in even more detail. His number, toll free, 1-855-FL-3782.
Excuse me, guys.
Listen to the Steve Kane on iHeartRadio. Just
All right, welcome back. 18 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Welcome back, one and all. Okay, so I know you've heard this ridiculous editorial going on in the media that the White House and liberals believe that the mainstream media are harder on Biden than they were on Trump. That's just a stupid comment to me. I mean, that's just insane, right? And now listen to this. There was this secret meeting between the mainstream media and the White House. 3 senior White House officials have embarked on a campaign to persuade newsroom executives to be more favorable in their coverage of Joe Biden, according to a report on Tuesday night. How about this? Instead of having 3 senior White House officials try to manipulate the Biden-loving media, how about 3 senior White House officials get together and stop screwing up America? Like, how about that? The trio are National Economic Council Deputy Directors David Kamen and Bharat Ramurthy, along with Ports Envoy John Porcari. The Ports Envoy, why don't you get your butt over to the ports and get the supply chain fixed? They've been briefing major newsrooms over the past week, according to Oliver Darcy, who is the media correspondent for CNN. Oliver Darcy, in his newsletter, said their outreach was sparked by concern that Biden wasn't being treated fairly. You know, when you're a Democrat president, you're supposed to get a free pass, right? Your son's hooked on drugs. He's got a money laundering operation going on for you, involving many things, not just these art sales. And the media, they're not supposed to report any of this. You're supposed to be able to do crime, screw up the country, bring us to the brink of war with Russia, and they're not supposed to do anything but praise you. Jerks. Darcy, this is the CNN guy, wrote this: the officials have been discussing with newsrooms trends pertaining to job creation, economic growth, supply chains, and more. The basic argument that has been made that the country's economy is in much better shape than it was last year. Well, the damn world economy was shut down last year. I'm told the conversations have been productive with anchors and reporters and producers getting to talk with the officials. Their lobbying came as on December 3rd, a Washington Post columnist, Dana Bash, a Washington Post columnist called Dana Bash, wrote an op-ed. That's Dana Bash from CNN, and her ex-husband is John King from CNN, but Dana Bash's previous husband that she got the Bash name from, it was a senior CIA guy, so that's where she's coming from. Dana Bash in an op-ed wrote, "The media treats Biden as badly or worse than Trump." Are you freaking kidding me? Oh my goodness. They've grown suspicious about negative headlines about Biden, and they've commissioned a study into the media. Can you imagine if Trump commissioned a study into the media using White House resources? Oh my goodness. They have data analytics from an information company to look at 65 news websites ranging from newspapers to wire services and political publications and do a sentiment analysis of 200,000 articles by doing an adjective search. Their research has shown that the media was treating Biden worse than it had Donald Trump. Are you kidding me? The media had porn stars claiming that they had sex with him on their news for days and months, and many other things too. My colleagues in the media are serving as accessories to the murder of democracy, Milbank appeared on CNN to defend his theory. August was the turning point, he told Breonna Keller. Biden's coverage was more favorable than Trump's before then. There was that honeymoon period. Even as things have generally improved since then, the coverage has not improved. Milbank added, "It's not bias. It's the actual words that we are using." Yeah, like sucks, incompetent, senile, supply chain crisis. It's all these words. We are as negative as a collective media on Joe Biden, if not more so, than we were to Donald Trump at a time when Trump was trying to overthrow democracy. That's a tremendous indictment of the whole industry. See, the media are supposed to be cheerleaders of Democrats, and since they're not being how do you take this garbage and this corruption and this failure and spin it into a positive light? There's a problem when we're just being as adversarial because a guy doesn't pass a bill as we are with a guy trying to overthrow democracy. Biden's chief of staff tweeted, "Submitted for your consideration," and sent out the article from the Washington Post. At the end of November, the Columbus Dispatch published an op-ed under the headline, "Opinion, it's time to give Joe Biden his due." It goes on. My goodness. State-controlled media hasn't been controlled enough. Maybe Biden should stop screwing up. What positive story comes out of Biden? Only 3 more years left of this suffering. There you go. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? Could you imagine if Trump did something like this? And the media are cheering it on I thought they told us when Trump was president that it was the duty of the media to challenge the White House, to challenge government, to challenge leaders and hold them accountable. Now you're not propaganda enough. This is frightening. You know what's most frightening about this? It's not that they're doing it. It's that the media and the government, under these Democrats, think that they're justified in doing it. The media thinks something's wrong with them because they're reporting news. And as favorable as they are, it's so typical of liberals. Low approval ratings aren't Biden's fault. They're not Kamala's fault. It's the fault of the media for not covering up their crap. Oh, I got to calm down. We got 2.5 hours to go. If I keep at this level, I'll be sleeping in the last hour of the show. All right, 1-888-COCAINE-1. 888-465-2631. By the way, if you do not, check out my podcast, The Brian Craig Show podcast. I co-host with my wife. We're about 10 years into the podcast. Huge. The Brian Craig Show podcast, by the way, was named the number 3 must-listen-to conservative podcast in America. Number 1 was Mark Levin. his podcast, which is a rebroadcast of his radio show. Number 2 was Glenn Beck's The Blaze podcast. And 3, the Brian Craig Show podcast, named the number 3 must-listen-to conservative podcast in America. I'm on most podcast platforms, but you can also listen to my podcast on my YouTube channel. Just search for me on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. That's right, the Brian Craig Show named the number 3 must-listen-to conservative podcast. Mark Levin 1, Glenn Beck 2, and me 3. I know, well, hey, been doing this for a few minutes. I guess finally I'm getting some recognition. All right, let's take some calls. Good morning, you're on the radio. Good morning. Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Maria from Florida.
Hey, Maria.
Oh my God, I'm so pissed off. I really don't want to cuss over this phone.
Yeah, please don't swear.
No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because I'm not supposed to do that. But I am so angry. I am so mad with these people. You know, this man is tearing up this nation. They have the nerve to say, "Oh, with the next coverage for Joe Biden." Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Be worse than that.
Mm-hmm.
Should be naked covenant, but they colluding with the Democrats, and this is what Trump was going through. This is exactly what he was going through. They didn't want to give him a good coverage on anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people that I'm not really surrounded, but I see them on a daily basis, and they tell me, "Oh my God, what did we do?" I say, "Yeah, you screwed up. And now we got to deal with this crap."
Yeah, the media aren't covering up enough. They're not spinning enough. See, the failures, the low approval ratings have nothing to do with the fact that Biden and Kamala are wrecking America and the world. It's that the media aren't selling their crap to us properly.
No, that's not even halfway true. I can tell you right now, I listen to a lot of radio stations like I listen to yours. And I started listening to a lot of black radio stations. They are pissed. They are so mad with themselves. They said, "I would never, ever vote for a Democrat Party again."
Why are the black radio stations upset at Joe Biden and Kamala Harris?
Because they said they promised that they was gonna go in there and do the right thing for the black community, was what they was promised. And they went in there and they locked them down. And most of the radio stations right now, the guy was complaining. He said, "I told you guys that this was going to happen."
So blacks are turning on Biden. Black radio stations are turning on Biden. Wow. What do they think he was supposed to do for the black community? They say he was going to do right for the black community. What does that mean? What were they expecting from Joe?
I guess it's supposed to be reparation money.
Reparation money.
Money for the money for the black.
Hey, you know what? I for racially segregated colleges, black colleges. You know, I got a suggestion. You know how they can pay for college in the black community? There's a way to pay for it.
Get up and get a job and pay for it.
Well, yeah, I went to college as an adult, okay, and I paid. And sometimes I only took one class. Sometimes I didn't take any classes. I paid for it, and it's crazy. They actually, if you go to colleges, they take your own. They take debit cards, they take checks, they even take cash. I guess at the black radio stations they don't know this.
No, they were so delusional to vote for this man, but they said that. The main reason why, which I know is true, because a lot of black people refusing to take the vaccine, the mandate.
Yeah. Well, I think the problem is, from what you're telling me, I don't listen to black radio stations. This used to be a black radio station. One of our radio stations, AM 1470, when I was in high school, this was a black radio station here in South Florida, WRBD. And all the bus drivers with the long nails used to have it on the buses all the time, and now I'm on that. I don't think they play me in the school buses, although they should. I don't know how they drive the buses with those long nails anyway, but the black radio stations seem to have their hand out. Hey, listen, I got to run for a break, but thanks for the call. Thanks for the call. All right, 31 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. We'll be right back.
Craig here. Conservative Doug called me up.
Jacqueline, $20 super sticker. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. And everyone, please thank Jacqueline for her super sticker. Awesome, awesome.
Half the price of everybody else.
Half the price? Half the price at Friendly Tire. Wow.
Half the price, and not only that.
If you're new, make sure you subscribe. And everybody, please like the video. Liking the video helps tremendously. When you like the video, it spreads the word on the YouTube algorithm to share my videos with other people that like this kind of content and think like us. And that's a good thing. Bring more people to the show. SteveKaneShow.com, 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate, and that's just a little north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much, and I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid building. Call the Siegel Law with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782. Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
Oh, man. You know what a great gift to give? You know what a great gift to give, guys, to your significant other? Think about it. What do you think I'm talking about? Hormone replacement pellet therapy with Dr. Mitch Matez at the Bio Station. You know, a lot of men and women give hormone replacement pellet therapy from Dr. Mitch Matez at the Bio Station away as holiday gifts to their significant other because they both benefit from it. And, you know, hormone replacement pellet therapy, it's amazing. You know, we've got two men, right? Donald Trump doing like 5-6 rallies a day, and we got Basement Biden. They can't even turn his microphone on when he's using a telephone. Can't turn his telephone speaker on when he's talking to Putin yesterday. Oh, my goodness. Who would you rather be, cognitive-wise, energy-wise? Would you like to be Donald Trump or Joe Biden, energy-wise, cognition-wise? You know, hormone replacement pellet therapy would turn Joe Biden into Donald Trump. It's that dramatic. How do you think I go all day, doing 2 shows a day, going all the time, up since 3 a.m., up till 9, 10 o'clock at night, up at 3 a.m.? Hormone replacement pellet therapy will change your life. You'll get your energy back, your sex drive back. There's all kinds of other benefits too. And these are all natural hormones. Part of the aging process is your body, as you grow older, produces less hormones. And what hormone replacement pellet therapy does is replace those hormones, all natural, that your body is no longer producing. And once you start the hormone replacement pellet therapy, you'll be like me. You'll be like Trump. And I've seen dramatic effects on both men and women in this listening audience before and after. Before, they're like Biden. They come, Steve and I are at Wings Plus having lunch. Lady come, oh, hey, I've been listening to you for a long time listening. And then we'll see him another time at one of Attorney Barry Siegel's workshops, or maybe another time at Wings Plus, and they, hey, Brian, how you doing? I saw you here last time, you know, and oh, you're a patient of Dr. Matez with hormone replacement. How do you know? Because, and I'll tell them, last time you were in here, you were like Joe Biden, you know. And what they are, they're tiny little pellets about the size of a grain of rice before you add water to it, very tiny. And Dr. Matez inserts them into your hip area, That's completely painless. And if you're a listener of the Steve Kane Show, make sure you mention that when you call. I'm going to give you the number right now. It's a free consultation for Steve Kane Radio Show listeners with Dr. Mitch Mutez at the Bio Station. Here's the number, 561-953-5490. 561-953-5490. It'll change your life, both men and women. Give them a call, 561-953-5490. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name?
Hey, good morning. This is Lewis from Plantation. How you doing, Brian?
All right. What's up?
Good, good. Hey, man, real simple. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you're Libertarian, Democrat, Republican. Love the guy, hate the guy. The true test for everyone listening at this show and who's open to listen to any show, yours or any kind of platform, are you better off now than you were a year ago? Do you anticipate being better off a year from now?
Yeah.
From now, that's the test, and Biden keeps failing that test repeatedly. With Trump, he could have hated the guy for his style and his antics, but at the end of the day, the guy got results. That's indisputable.
Well, first off, I don't understand how anyone would dislike Trump. I really don't. And people think I'm being sarcastic. He's a great man and did great things, and he'll do more when he's reelected. But
one of my best friends, I'm a therapist. One of my best friends I graduated therapy school from. He's a hardcore Democrat. Love him to death. We go back and forth with our little antics back and forth. But he truly hates the guy. He truly hates him. And
is your friend straight? Is your friend straight? No, I'm serious. Well, what's his beef then? What kind of straight man hates Donald Trump?
I don't get it. He's straight as an arrow, but he just.
Well, there's something in his life. Is he a Christian?
No.
Okay, what is he?
No.
Oh, he's Jewish? Is he Jewish?
No, he's not Jewish or anything. No.
Is he Muslim?
None of that stuff, no.
Well, he's godless. Maybe that's why. Maybe being God, hey, he's godless then. Maybe that's why there's something about this guy that makes him a liberal.
Yeah, exactly.
Has he paid for abortions? I mean, I'm trying to figure, why would a grown man, he has paid for abortions. Oh, there you go. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Typically, if someone is a Democrat, the reason I ask these questions, if someone is a Democrat, a grown adult man, typically there's something in their life, usually immoral, that causes them to gravitate towards the Democrat Party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tend to agree with that statement.
Oh, you just don't want to tell me about your friend. Okay, all right. I get it.
For years. Hey, listen, real quick before we hang up, I just want to give a quick plug to Friendly Tire. Went there to get a tire done. He took care of me in 5 minutes. That guy's awesome.
Oh, you got a tire repair done?
Yeah. I mean, I went there for a half hour before he closed on a Saturday. He in 5 minutes, I was done and repaired.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. Appreciate the call. Out of Plantation. Yeah, Friendly Tire in Margate, they do tire repairs. And other tire shops do not do tire repairs. They got a racket going. They won't do them. They'll tell you they don't do repairs. I can't believe it. And sometimes you just need a simple repair. Sometimes you just ran over a nail or something. In these other places, they won't do it. Friendly Tire in Margate, he actually does tire repairs. Give Friendly Mike a call, by the way. He'll give you a quote on tires new and used over the phone. You can also ask him about repairs. 954-977-9445. Yeah, I've gone over there for repairs a couple of times. Ran over a curb, broke the stem, got a new stem on the tire. 954-977-9445. Friendly Tire in Margate. All right, you're on the radio. What's your name?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You're right, with Joe Biden. I mean, look, think about this. President Trump called Jeb Bush low energy, right?
Yes.
And look, you look at Jeb Bush. Yeah, he's kind of low energy, and he could stand to go see, but Biden's even worse.
Mm-hmm.
You look at, and look, I have no doubt in my mind that this meeting between these officials and the media took place. I have no doubt. I mean, look, it fits. Remember quite a number of years ago, Bernard Goldberg did a book on media bias?
Yeah, we had him on the air back then at the time, Bernard Goldberg, yeah. On ABC. He was with ABC News for many years.
Yep. And this is basically fits in his book talking about, well, spiking of stories, but how the stories are put together and written up and the words they use in the stories and things of that nature. And like I said, I have no doubt in my mind that this, because he, in his warped mind, in his dementia-ridden whatever mind, he thinks he's not getting good coverage.
Yeah, and he's not being appreciated. His poll numbers aren't because he's a complete corrupt failure, right? It's because we're not appreciating him enough, and the media are not convincing us to appreciate all the goodness that is Biden.
Yeah, all the goodness, all the desperate.
Exactly.
So-called goodness. Thank you, laptop from hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Mike, take care. Thanks for the call. Okay, now I have the latest updates on the Fox News Christmas tree arson attack. If you're just waking up, around midnight last night, an arsonist burned down the Fox News Christmas tree, and I have the latest update from the Fox News website. The massive Christmas tree outside Fox News' New York City headquarters was seriously damaged in a fire early Wednesday, and police say they arrested a man running from the location. Again, this is on the Fox News website I'm reading from. Fox News security spotted a man climbing the 50-foot-tall tree at the center of Fox Square just after midnight. The 6th Avenue and 48th Street location is the heart of Midtown. NYPD officers arrived at the scene and saw a man running from the location before they took him into custody. City firefighters managed to extinguish the blaze. There were no reported injuries. The investigation's ongoing. It was not clear whether the suspect may have used an accelerant to quicken the spread of the fire. Police did not immediately name the suspect. The red, white, and blue-themed tree was 50 feet high, decorated with 10,000 glass ornaments, 100,000 lights, and took workers 21 hours to assemble the decorations. That's all they got. They still have not identified the man. He climbed the tree. So now we know, I mean, he went there. I tell you, Fox News, can you report the damn news? Fox News has been attacked. Fox News has been targeted by a leftist arsonist. There's no way they were not. They know damn well who was arrested. They know who was arrested. The New York Post, which is in that same building, they print. Why? Why is Fox News not reporting the details of the attack on them? There's no doubt in my mind that this is a leftist who targeted them. And the longer they go without reporting the identity of the Fox News Christmas tree arsonist attacker, the more it confirms to me that it's a leftist. If a MAGA guy attacked the tree at Rockefeller Plaza over the Rockefeller Center at NBC, you don't think they'd be all over the news by now? Almost 7 hours after the attack? How do you have your own Christmas tree attacked by an arsonist and cover up the story? How do you have your own Christmas tree that you've been promoting for days burned down by a leftist arsonist, and you don't put the mugshot on your cable news channel? Why are they covering? If they're covering because it's a leftist, probably a minority, and the reason I say that is because when minorities commit crimes, the media's instinctive reaction is to cover up the identity. They don't like if it was a white guy, they'd be all out there. If it was a white guy wearing a MAGA hat, it'd be all over the news right now. Something's fishy here. If any of you have any detail that I've left out so far, please let me know. And I'd like to know, do you believe that Fox News was targeted in this attack because of their conservative viewpoint? I mean, if you're a Christmas tree arsonist, that's not the most high-profile tree in town. You know, it can only be political. Now, and another incredible Christmas gift for everyone on your gift-giving list, no matter who it is something from MyPillow. You know, the great Mike Lindell, a big supporter of the Steve Kane Show here, has been with us for a few years now, has incredible deals with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. If you're on hold, stand by. Go to MyPillow.com and click on the radio listener specials for the specials I'm going to share with you. These all make great gifts. The MyPillow, the pillow that started it all. I sleep on a MyPillow. My wife sleeps on a MyPillow. My daughter sleeps on a MyPillow. It will change your life. That patented fill inside the MyPillow, what it does is it stops your, well, not only it supports your head and your neck properly, it stops you from tossing and turning your head during the night. And that's why you get a rested night's sleep. Every time you twist and turn your head, you wake up. You may not be aware of it, but you wake up. It's like having sleep apnea. The regular price for the MyPillow is $69.98. With our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, just $19.98. This is the lowest price ever. The 100% Giza cotton dream sheets. I've got 4 sets of these. We just got the flannel sheets, and let me tell you, Mike Lindell's a genius. He's the Thomas Edison of sleep. I don't know how he does it with his sheets. In particular, the flannel sheets, which are also 100% Giza cotton. There's something about the technology in the MyPillow sheets that your body is always the perfect temperature when you're with them. It's like Goldilocks. Perfect temperature. It's amazing. Even the flannels. Here in Florida, we have the flannels. Perfect. Perfect. And they're so soft. They're so soft. With the promo code KANE at checkout, buy 1 set of MyPillow 100% Giza cotton dream sheets. Get a second set free. These are great Christmas gifts. The MyPillow My Slippers. I wear the MyPillow My Slippers every day. They have multiple styles for men and women and many different colors, including pink for the ladies. With the promo code KANE at checkout, 40% off the MyPillow My Slippers. And they come in a great box to wrap to all these things. The biggest special they have is the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper. I have the 3-inch mattress topper. It is the thickest mattress topper that the great Mike Lindell makes, and it will change your life. We got it because my wife was having some back problems, and we have a pretty new mattress, but we got it, and boom, she woke up the next day, back pain gone, hasn't returned. And one thing with the MyPillow mattress topper that it's done to me, it's been life-changing because I've had this since April. I believe we got it in April. For the first time in my adult life, I wake up even on the weekends when my alarm goes off. I always woke up an hour before, 10 minutes before, 2 hours before. Now I sleep the whole night through with my MyPillow mattress topper. With the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper, 50% off. This is a huge deal. I asked them if they would extend this through the holiday season because they had a Black Friday special on this, and they did it for you. So go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, and you'll see all these deals and more. By the way, whatever special you see at MyPillow.com, no matter what it says, Mike Gallagher, Sean Hannity, whatever it says, War Room, you can take advantage of any special there with our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. Mike Lindell, to show his appreciation for you and the Steve Kane listening audience, has made our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, good on every special you see at MyPillow.com, no matter what it says. Also, for those of you who listen to us in the UK and Canada, our promo code KANE is good for you on MyPillow, both in Canada and the UK. That's K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone and get all these deals, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Mainz.
Hey, Jeff. What's up?
Hey, I just saw on the headline on the news that Australia has boycotted the Olympics, and right after that, they highlighted China has they're going to make America pay for all the boycotts.
Well, we are not boycotting the Olympics. They're calling it a political boycott. We're not sending officials, like government officials, to the Olympics. The athletes are still going for Team USA.
Oh, well, I guess. Oh, apparently Australia is boycotting them completely.
Really, they're not sending athletes? They probably don't want to let the Australians leave the country because Australia has been returned to penal colony status. They're all imprisoned over there.
They're all on that.
I do not support boycotting the Olympic Games. But they are. See, the thing is, when boycotts of the Olympic Games happen, Team USA wins most of the medals. And when the boycotts happen, the other countries, they win because we're not there. So other countries want us to boycott so they can medal.
But the politicalization of the Olympics, I am really surprised that it hasn't destroyed the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Number of countries and athletes going, because it's just not what it was meant to be.
Yeah. I don't think they should be I don't think they should be boycotting the Olympics. I really don't. Now maybe they should move them elsewhere, they should move the Olympics elsewhere. There's Olympic villages all over the place that are wasting away, right? Because Olympic villages are pretty useless when the Olympics are over. They should move them out of China and demand that China free that tennis player that the Chinese official raped, that champion. I don't know her name, but the one that was raped. They got these phony videos of her all happy out to eat with her friends. No, she should be released to the West.
So can the Olympic Committee, even though China is so powerful now, you have to admit they are, move them to another location which everybody would join, and then maybe China wouldn't show up?
The Olympic Committee is filled with international leftists, probably like Biden, owned by China.
Because that would be the answer to this problem with China. That'd be like sticking your thumb. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The best thing that could happen.
Yeah, the International Olympic Committee is I can't say more corrupt than Biden because I don't know if that's possible, but there is equally as corrupted as Biden.
Very good point.
Mm-hmm. All right, Jeff, take care. Thanks for the call. Good morning. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. Barry Siegel.
Oh, hey, Barry, you caught me off guard a little early today. Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. What's going on, Barry?
You talking about the My Pillow and all their products that help people sleep, and it occurred to me that in a way we're in the same business because, of course, what we do as well, helping people protect their loved ones and get that peace of mind by doing their estate planning, also helps them sleep at night. So, we offer the mind and being able to sleep at night by helping people protect themselves from probate, not leaving a mess behind, protecting themselves from guardianship, making sure they protect their assets from the biggest risk they have during their lifetime in their retirement years, the cost of long-term care, by making sure they can qualify for government benefits down the road to pay for those enormous costs, all these things, and of course making sure that the assets they leave stay in their family bloodline and don't end up going to future ex-son-in-laws, future ex-daughter-in-laws, or the lawsuit. Those kinds.
And of course, the dreaded next husband of your widowed wife that you leave behind, right? And his kids. That happens a lot too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to make sure that you set things up in advance before it's too late. And of course, too late if you run out of life or God forbid, you lose your cognitive abilities.
That's right. That's right. And, I was reading an article this morning. I was thinking about you, Barry, before I came to the radio station. It was an article promoting wills and how more people are getting wills than ever before. And a will can really mess up everything, can't it?
Well, I mean, for some people, a will is an appropriate level of planning. And I've always felt that having something in place is better than having nothing. But a lot of times people call up and they want to come in and get a will, but then when we ask everyone to fill out a questionnaire, and one of the things that we ask them to do is to let us know what their goals are, and they check off that they want to avoid probate. And they're shocked to learn that a will does not help you avoid probate because those assets are still in your name. So once they learn about that, a lot of times they will want to set up a revocable living trust, and they're grateful that they...
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, when you call the Siegel Law Group, make sure you mention you heard them on the radio, because you get a free consultation with the Siegel Law Group when you mention you heard them on the radio. The number is toll-free, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. Attorney Barry Siegel. All right, Barry, we will talk later in the week. All right, take care. Have a great morning. Have a great morning. Wow, it is, I'm looking at the sun is rising over the beach right now. Beautiful, beautiful. You know, on the way to the radio station this morning, I did a live stream on YouTube talking about the Fox News arson attack. And I was a little early. I was a little early this morning, so I drove down to the beach, down the street, down to the ocean. And so if you follow me on YouTube, you get all this stuff. But if you look at my video on the Fox News Christmas tree arson attack, in that video I took everybody to the ocean this morning, and then I came to the radio station. That's how close we are to the beach. That's Florida. That's Florida. All right, our number is toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. Now, it's been about 7 hours since an arsonist attacked Fox News' Christmas tree, climbed the 50-foot tree, lit it on fire, and they were arrested. Still, they have not been identified. Why do you think that is? Why has Fox News not identified the man who was arrested for burning down their Christmas tree? I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. And Fox News spent like all of last week promoting this Christmas tree was going to be lit over the weekend, and they had all their big stars there for this Christmas tree lighting ceremony. They were hyping it up, and now it was lit on fire and burned down by an arsonist who was arrested shortly after by police, and they have still not been identified. If anyone out there has any theories on this, do you? I have some. Give me a call. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call from anywhere. Oh, man. All right, 1 hour down, 2 to go. We'll be right back after this.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
We all know how beautiful and lush Florida is. They have sources at the police department. They know who did it. They know who was arrested. I promise you. I promise you. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. 954-680-7739. Do you think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus?
Wow.
Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to any lab test now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody that tested positive
got me in within the hour. I was out of there within 20 minutes. Thank goodness the test was negative, and I can go back to work tomorrow. They also tested me for the antibodies, and I haven't been exposed. So do what I did. Go over to any lab test now in Coral Springs. They give great rates for Steve Kane listeners, and tell them we sent you.
It's worth 15 minutes of your time to have peace of mind and know that you and your family are safe. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. You can call them at 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any lab test now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough. Call them at 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
We got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Palmetto Beach.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the Sole Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom.
Good morning again, everyone.
Authority today, 954-597-7060.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law. 9 offices around South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-COCAINE-1. That's 1-888-COCAINE-1. And
All right, welcome back. Hour number 2 has begun. 4 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. If you're just tuning in, lots going on. Biden had they had a secret meeting with mainstream media officials this week. Biden demanding that they step in line, stop being critical of him, cover up his problems, make him look like he's doing great for this country so that the opinion polls will turn around. And the Fox News Christmas tree has been lit on fire. And I'm trying to find information on the Arsonist. So if anyone out there has information on the Arsonist, please let me know. I'm looking through some stories here during the break on the Christmas tree fire at Fox News, and I'm not seeing details on who the person arrested was. Somebody in the chat room gave me a name, but I need more than a name. I need some news story somewhere that tells me something about them. I certainly, this is really a terrible thing. There are some things that bring the country together regardless of our politics, okay? And one of them is Christmas. And for the most part, hold on one second. I'm messaging someone. Hold on a second. I know I should do this during the break. I apologize. Okay, and this is beyond your typical war on Christmas, okay? I mean, the war on Christmas, there's religious arguments that are made from time to time. I need an article that mentions the person, because I want to know, there's a lot of Christmas trees in New York City. The Fox News Christmas tree is not the most high-profile one. Why would someone set that one on fire? Why would someone set that one on fire? Let me go see if they got any updates on the Fox News website. No updates on the Fox News website. In fact, it's kind of buried. I'm at the Fox News website. The first story, now again, the 50-foot Christmas tree in front of Fox was lit on fire last night. Top story, Biden's Supreme Court Commission votes on whether to endorse far left's crusade to pack the high court. Okay, Jussie Smollett, a death row story, Dana Perino, and Putin, talking about Putin and Biden. Dante writes, alleged victim speaks out. Is this an update? Let me update this. What is this? There's not. I'm looking at their website. Oh my goodness! It on the Fox News website. Let me count one. How many stories down do you have to go? Let's see, to get to the fire. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The 17th story down below the ads in the fold of the Fox News website, Fox Square Christmas tree burned in fire, suspect arrested. The 17th story on their website. Is that an appropriate place to put that, or do you think it should be higher up on their list of stories? It should be higher up. I mean, there's no getting around it. Should be higher up. You know, I know people think I'm political on everything sometimes. I'm not. There are certain things, like if I went to New York City, which I wouldn't do right now because it's not safe. It's very dangerous. But if I were in New York City, if it were safe to go to New York City, I would go by the Christmas tree at NBC, the Rockefeller Christmas tree. Absolutely. Doesn't everybody? I'd go by the Fox tree too. I don't know if I'd go by the CNN tree. I might, if it was on the way. And I would think, wow, how beautiful that is. And I'd appreciate it. And I'll tell you what, if the tree at NBC was burned down, I'd be all over that this morning. I'd want to know who did that too. And that's just my way of thinking, my view of things. All right, I'd like to hear your thoughts on all of this at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz had a press conference yesterday about the January 6th prisoners. And a lot of things came out about the treatment of the January 6th prisoners. No matter who you are, when you are in this country and you are arrested, there's due process, right? Right to a free and speedy trial. Bail. Right to see your counsel. All these things. And the January, those that were arrested on January 6th, I don't support what they did. I wouldn't have gone into the Capitol building, and I know you wouldn't have either in the listening audience. A lot of people did. But even the Christmas tree or the Christmas parade massacre driver, I don't care who you are, if you're in America, you're presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and you all have the same rights afforded to you. Okay? And the January 6th, if these were leftist, if these were Antifa that were locked up and under these conditions, okay, I would most definitely want people to look into it. If you're arrested in this country, you have certain rights. You should be treated a certain way. That is not what is happening to the January 6th prisoners. And Marjorie Taylor Greene was talking about some of them have celiac disease, or at least one, but I thought she said plural, and they have to eat gluten-free food because of their illness. It's very painful. Someone has that disease and they're not given gluten-free food, they have all kinds of problems. You ever eaten gluten-free food? Oh my goodness, it tastes awful. I've tasted it before. And they're force-feeding people with celiac disease that require gluten-free food, gluten food. I read another story this morning. This all came out from the Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene press conference, that prisoners are being forced to denounce Trump. Now, let me tell you, I know people that are Democrats. I know people that support all kinds of people I don't like. I could not imagine asking anyone to denounce a president, a politician, or a political candidate in this country. I just could not imagine it. Not through a legal process. Now, you know, I might get a liberal caller on the phone and ask them to defend whoever it is they're supporting. Okay? That's a little different. Ask them to defend it. But I wouldn't say, you must denounce. And the problem, there's a lot of problems with this, other than the immediate rights violations of American citizens being held in the D.C. Gitmo. I mean, obviously, that's the immediate concern. But long term, you know, everything in this country involving the law is about legal precedent. And there's a very dangerous legal precedent being set here. And what they're doing, and they've been doing this for a year, they haven't been completely successful at it, but what they're doing is they're trying to label Trump supporters as a domestic terrorist hate group to ban them. And it's as obvious as the day is long. And that's why they're doing all of these things. They're treating, you know, Tim McVeigh was treated better in jail than these January 6th people. And if you remember, Tim McVeigh was doing interviews all the time, laughing, smiling. Remember that? For those that don't remember, he was the Oklahoma City bomber. And over the weekend, did you see this thing over the weekend with these guys marching in uniform with shields at the what was that? Was it the Lincoln Memorial? Claiming to reclaim America. And there was video of this all over social media, and everyone was saying they were undercover feds. And Joe Rogan made a point that I made about that. Remember I was talking a few weeks ago that I've seen some of these guys in Proud Boy outfits at up at events up by Mar-a-Lago, up at Mar-a-Lago. I remember talking about this a week or two ago. It was during the Thanksgiving period, so some of you may have been away from us on the radio those couple of days. And I told you one of the giveaways that these were middle-aged guys, very expensive leather vest and everything, like the middle-aged Harley-Davidson riders we see on the highways all the time. And I said there wasn't one beer belly on any of them, which is impossible to me to have a group of men, middle-aged, and not one beer belly with guys that, you know, with these vests, these custom leather vests that cost a couple $1,000 each and everything on. It's just not possible. I said they look like undercover feds. Well, this event in Washington, Joe Rogan made the same point. This white supremacist group, as it was labeled, they all had masks on, so you couldn't see their faces. He said, this was Joe Rogan, he said that group in D.C. over the weekend is fake. He says they're too slim. They're too slim. Thought that was interesting. Joe Rogan said he believes members of the white supremacist group Patriot Front are secretly federal agents in disguise. This is Joe Rogan, arguing they're too slim to be actual extremists. On Saturday, more than 100 members of the group marched through downtown Washington, D.C. in matching uniforms, calling to reclaim America. And this is Rogan. There has never been a thing that I've ever seen where almost immediately I was like, those are feds, Rogan said on Tuesday. First of all, these guys are too slim. I'm looking at these guys. They're all in shape. They're all thin. They're uniformly marching with flags. I'm like, there's no way these idiots would be this organized. You look at these people walking down the street with their masks on, all dressed in black, all wearing essentially a uniform, all holding the same size American flag, Rogan continued. If you watch this, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Rogan again argued that the marchers were too in shape to actually be a white supremacist group, and said this, you look at them marching, you go, why are these guys in such good shape? Idiots are usually fat, says Joe Rogan. There's some fatness to them, meaning idiots. They don't have discipline, Rogan continued. You're telling me the FBI didn't know about these people? You're telling me the FBI is not aware of people that organizing this? He said CNN's all in. He says everyone in this group is a runner. They could be real, Rogan said. I'm an unreliable source and I'm a comedian, but looking at him, I'm calling it BS. Same observation. Joe Rogan made the same observation that I made about those Proud Boys I saw up at Mar-a-Lago. And to have a group of men, all of them be in shape, no beer bellies, with short haircuts, and it's there's a saying that Steve uses all the time. It doesn't pass the smile test, you know. And the thing about white supremacists, we are all against that. I mean, I've got an interracial family. I wouldn't stand for anything like that. Okay? But this idea that they're promoting, that there's some rise of white supremacy in this country now, it's just not the case. And thankfully so, because I stand against that. People that have interracial families like I do, we really don't care for interracial families don't care for white supremacists because they don't care for us, right? But if there was a rise in America of white supremacists, it would have been during the 8 years that we had a black president, Barack Obama. And they were silent then. So I think that's some evidence of all of this being BS. And, you know, it's interesting because there's been a couple of instances with this in Washington now where social media, conservatives have immediately denounced it and called out these groups. There was this one over the weekend, the Patriot Front. No one's ever heard of them before. Do they have a website that Rogan was talking about? And then a few weeks ago, they tried to redo the January 6th. They had like a fake event with the January 6th. And the Capitol Police arrested one guy, and he was an undercover federal agent. Remember this? And it was caught on someone's cell phone cam. Remember that? Yeah. Media was all in on that until that happened. Then it disappeared from the news. You know, we were talking about the last few days with CNN shows that there's so much creation of the news by the mainstream media. This meeting that Biden's people had with leftist media outlets this week, telling them, you know, get in shape. You know, your opinion polls are low. You need to get on board the Biden train, making demands on the media. You know, the media and the political establishments of our government coordinate with one another. And when I see what's going on, I question everything now, not just things going on now, things in the past. You know, like I was talking about a podcast last night. You know, Pearl Harbor Day was yesterday, and my whole life I heard people talk about, you know, Roosevelt knew, and I said, come on, I never believed that. But now I'm open to it, conspiracies around Pearl Harbor, because we're so manipulated by this government, and we see it all the time. And I don't mean just Biden; I mean in general, there's manipulations. Look, Bush and Cheney lied us into the war in Iraq. There were no weapons of mass destruction. And they lied to us. And they got Colin Powell to do it in front of the UN because he was a guy that had credibility with people back then. So, you know, why not be open to the idea that there was a conspiracy of knowledge prior to the attack on Pearl Harbor when you see what they've done and what they're doing right now before us that we're living through? All right, let's take our break. 20 minutes after the hour, it's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. This is the longest running radio show in the state of Florida. Our number toll free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back.
Brian Craig here. You've heard us talk about the great low prices Friendly Tire has on new tires and used tires. They also do tire repairs. Listen to one of our listeners talk about their experience at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Hey Brian, my name is Mike. Just wanted to call and say thank you. I had a problem with my car. I had the flat tire was going down really quick. I'm in Coral Springs. I had to go somewhere close by. They couldn't really fix
Steve Kane Show. Nothing.
Just wanted to say thank you. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Give Mike at Friendly Tire a call right now. We'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Don't waste time going anywhere else. You will never find prices as low as Friendly Tire in Margate.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call Laporta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at laportacontracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to the Steve Kane Show.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, 24 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's K-A-N-E, and the number 1-888-465-2631. Good morning, you're on the radio. Greg, too.
Yes, good morning, Brian. First, you know what? As far as, I just want to address Richie calling me a girly man yesterday. Richie, you suffer from low self-esteem, my friend. You let Brian insult you, and then you praise him afterwards. You've insulted Richie countless times on your show, and he shows nothing but praise for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, Richie, you should look yourself in the mirror.
Yeah. All right. Now, before you, excuse me. I'm gonna respond to what you just said. I remember you. I remember you calling yesterday. I remember Richie calling yesterday. I really don't remember what Richie said about you. I remember him mentioning you, but I don't remember the details. But here's the thing. And I'm talking to Richie, the bus driver. Notice what Greg is doing. Greg is doing. You called him a girly man. I'm not calling him a girly man, but what Greg too is doing is what women often do. He's trying to divide us. He's being catty. He's trying to divide Richie and me, get Richie mad at me to try to divide us instead of dealing with things. That's something I've seen women do, but not often with men, although on occasion. All right, what's your
Wait, divide you? Are you like a team of some sort? What do you mean by divide you?
Well, obviously, you know, Richie and I are friends. He's traveled with us on our cruises, and I've spent a couple of weeks with Richie out on the high seas. In fact, one whole week his cabin was next to mine. So yeah. So yes.
Outside of your cruise, have you done anything socially with Richie?
I have talked to him. Sure, I've talked not in person, but I've talked to him.
You've gotten out to dinner with him? Have you gone up and visited him in his new room?
I've had dinner with him at Wings Plus.
Of course, a sponsor-related thing. Nothing outside of your business.
Well, I don't socialize with anyone outside of my family too much. But anyway, what's your next point?
Okay. So there's one top. By the way, where are the attorneys for these January 6th intruders? The attorneys, listen, do you think the prosecution goes, you have to denounce Trump?
That's what's being reported. That's what's been reported.
But it doesn't mean it's accurate. Their attorney goes, any viable attorney, and they do all have attorneys. They're being represented. They're not like, pro se. They're being represented by attorneys. Any attorney would laugh at that. Like, you want him to voice his displeasure with...
No, in fact, I've seen several of the attorneys for the January 6th Capitol breachers interviewed on Newsmax, and they have third, fourth-rate attorneys. All of them that I've seen None of them are like your typical Washington lawyer, because the high-profile Washington lawyers won't represent them because they'll be cut off from more Washington business, which in itself is a violation of their rights. You can tell by the way these attorneys are dressed and handle themselves on TV. They're not the type of top attorney you have in a high-profile federal case. So, and some of their attorneys I've seen on Newsmax say that they have not even been allowed to have privileged private conversations with their clients in the jail. So, no, there's all kinds of things going on.
Believe that.
Well, you're not following it. You're not following it. You just don't know.
Because some people, listen, they pled out the highest profile guy. He pled guilty, and he's serving a sentence right now. These are lesser profile cases. And they're like, I think you're taking, first of all, why doesn't Matthew Gates and Marjorie Taylor Greene go up and say, listen, we'll get you attorneys? Why aren't they helping?
Marjorie Taylor, I've seen Marjorie Taylor Greene on many occasions. By the way, I don't support what they did. I wouldn't have gone into that building, but I support, as you do, as an off. Can I finish? Can I finish my sentence? But as a officer of the court yourself, whoever they are, you're charged with a crime in this country. There's certain rights that you're entitled to, and their rights are being violated. And Marjorie Taylor Greene has many times shown up at the jail to meet them, inspect their conditions, and as a sitting member of the House of Representatives has been denied access. And believe me, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz are desperately trying to help them.
Well, their attorneys should be filing motions that their constitutional rights are being violated. I don't see anything being filed. Do you know of anything filed? An attorney would say simply, we'll file a motion, go before a judge, and let him rule.
Yes, they have been denied hearings and everything else, bail and all kinds of other hearings. Many of them. Yes, they're using. Listen, I'm not. Greg, you just don't know what's going on. Newsmax TV has been doing a lot of coverage on this. They're treating the January 6th Capitol breachers using the Patriot Act. They're being treated as domestic terrorists, and these rights that we all take for granted in this country under the Patriot Act, they don't have access to. They're treating them like terrorists.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
I know, it is hard to believe, but it is true. It is true.
Attorneys, they need to get new attorneys.
Listen, they believe me, they try. But the attorneys that you would typically hire to handle these levels of cases won't touch them because they'll get frozen out of other business. Because it's all a DC love fest up there.
There are other attorneys throughout the country that could come in and represent them, ask for the court, allow them to represent them. Not necessarily.
But the system is not allowing it to happen. Since they're using the Patriot Act, these things you're talking about don't apply. Some of them are being held in solitary confinement.
Well, that's a cruel and unusual punishment under the circumstances. I agree, but why aren't there attorneys filing motions?
They are, but they're not being successful. A couple of reasons they're not being successful. One, because they're using the Patriot Act and such. Another one is, when you're going up against the federal government, the Justice Department, in cases at this level, you need to have top-tier Washington law firm types representing you, not just because they're the top lawyers who understand the system, but they know each other up there, and they're getting out. They got guys that are 2 steps away from doing ticket defense. I see some of these guys, some of the attorneys on TV, and their suits say it all. They have cheap suits. Some of them don't even fit. They're like off-the-rack suits. You don't have an off-the-rack suit lawyer representing you in cases at this level, and they cannot get adequate, competent representation.
Well, I'll take your word on that. And you know what? I just can't believe attorneys are out there licensed that can't handle a case. You don't have to be in a $10,000 suit to know the law and argue a case, Brian. You simply
no, but you need to have attorneys that have experience at this level and the contacts in Washington to properly represent you. It's it's an insider family town, and these are not Beltway lawyers they have. When you see the lawyers, they're nice guys, they're competent attorneys, but they're out of their league. They're like it's like taking a high school baseball player who's the star, all-star of the local high school, and putting him out there with the major league.
Well, listen, if that's the case, they need to get new attorneys. But one other quick topic I want to broach with you. What is your opinion on Mark Meadows now?
Be more specific.
Mark Meadows wrote a book, which they all do. I don't know who buys these books, but he wrote a book.
I do. I have it. I have Mark Meadows' book.
And did you read the excerpt where he...
No, I haven't read the book yet. I had Mark Meadows on my podcast weeks ago.
He wrote in his book that Trump knew he had COVID, yet still didn't disclose it to anybody. This is him.
Mark Meadows says that's not true. I've not read that part in the book. He said, Mark Meadows said that is not true. He claims he didn't put it in the book. I'm not sure it's in the book. I'm not sure that it's in the book. I know that the press are reporting about it. Well, I gave it away, but I'll get another copy of it so I guess I can read the book for you. But I'll tell you, I had Mark Meadows on my podcast, and which you all should check out that interview. And it was a very good interview. And there is no one who's a bigger supporter of President Trump than Mark Meadows. In fact, there's Mark Meadows. I talked to him a lot about the president and COVID and what went on that day. President Trump couldn't even carry his briefcase on the Marine One, and Mark Meadows was there to do it for him. So no, what's going on with Mark Meadows and President Trump? It's what you are trying to do with me and Richie. They're trying to divide Mark Meadows and President Trump. Mark Meadows is still, in effect, operating as Trump's chief of staff.
As far as I only respond to Richie's commentary about me, and I hope your memory's not failing, Brian, because you should be able to remember yesterday's show.
I remember the show yesterday, but sometimes when you or Richie call in, that's a big deal to you, but I don't remember every detail of every phone conversation I have. It's not as big of a deal to me talking to you or talking to Richie as it is for you guys to talk to me.
I'm not saying you have to have a vivid memory, but just a kind of a recollection that
I did. I remember a vague recollection of your call. You brought up the thing about the parents. Richie called up about you, called you a girly man. I don't know why he called you a girly man, but I'm showing that you're doing something that is what women often do, try to divide and split people up. You get women in a group of three, and they're always trying to cause divisions. It's what you're doing is catty. I think women would agree with me. I'll open up the phones to that. I don't think it's sexist. You get three women together, two gang up on one every time. Yeah. But I'm categorizing you that way more than women. I think most women will agree.
So, does your wife behave in that type of manner?
My wife has very much told me about this. She's told me stories that you get three women together, about women being catty. Absolutely. Well, I'll throw. Hey, ladies, if you think I'll open up the phones. Women out there in our audience, ladies, if I'm being sexist or not, give me a call. Give me some analysis. Is Greg catty? Is that a female trait? A female tactic? I don't know. Hey, Greg, I'm going to move on, but take care. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our break and be right back.
So you've been told you need a health test. What are you going to have to pay? Health tests can be very expensive. If you go to your doctor's office or one of the big labs, it can cost you hundreds of dollars. Sometimes I haven't had lab tests because of the cost. Then I discovered Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs' goal is to get you all the lab tests you need, save you money, and get you in and out in 15 minutes or less. At Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs, you never need an appointment, no doctor's order, or prescription needed either. You can walk right in and have any of their thousands of lab tests done for just a fraction of the price the big labs or your doctor's office charge. Give them a call Call 954-906-5983. 954-906-5983. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood near the Coral Square Mall. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. Private and affordable lab testing. 954-906-5983. We all know how beautiful and lush Florida is, with the abundance of trees and bushes. But if you want your home to look great, all of that greenery needs to be trimmed and well kept. So when it comes to trimming your trees, you want a pro, one who knows how to cut, when to cut, and the difference in each type of tree. And the best in South Florida are the professionals at GoPro Professional Property Care. With over 50 years of experience in South Florida, they know what's best for your trees and how to make your home look spectacular. With all the electrical wiring around, tree trimming is too dangerous to do yourself and requires a professional that you will not find by hiring just some guy with a truck who knocks on your front door. In fact, tree trimming is so much more than just cutting branches. It's about maintenance and keeping your trees healthy and having curb appeal. GoPro Professional Property Care is licensed and insured, available 24/7 for any tree emergency. GoPro does it all too. Tree trimming, pruning, tree removal, stump grinding, root removal, lawn care, and installation. And that's just the start of what they do. Call Nathan. He's Steve Kane's personal tree trimmer, and now he wants to work with you. 954-680-7739. He's also available for condos, HOAs, and businesses. 954-680-7739. 954-680-7739. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. 954-680-7739.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group.
Steve Kane Show.
Concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing?
Steve Kane Show.
Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group.
Ellen.
9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for www.
All right, now we have some updates. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. If you're just tuning in, last night around midnight, an arsonist climbed the Fox News Christmas tree, lit it on fire, and we have some details. This is ABC News 7 out of New York. I read through the story. We have some info on the person who lit the tree on fire. A large Christmas tree outside Fox's, this is ABC Channel 7, New York City. A large Christmas tree outside Fox's Midtown headquarters was set ablaze by an arsonist who was quickly taken into custody. The 50-foot tree on 6th Avenue went up in flames just before 12:15 a.m. Heavy flames spread to smaller decorated trees in the display. The 49-year-old man spotted by building security climbing the tree was quickly taken into custody. He had a lighter in his possession. The suspect has been identified as 49-year-old Craig Tamanagha. Craig, bringing this, his first name's Craig. They say he's homeless. His last known address is in Brooklyn. He was charged with criminal mischief, reckless endangerment, arson, criminal nuisance, endangering others, criminal trespass, criminal tampering, and disorderly conduct. He's expected to appear in court later today. He has 3 prior arrests, 2 for drug possession, 1 for public intoxication. The motive, unclear for the arson at this point. So we got a little bit of intel, no mugshot yet, and being homeless doesn't mean he's not political. Being homeless doesn't mean he doesn't have a social media profile. All right, let's go to the phones. Good morning. You're on the radio. Oh yes, Richie. I figured one of the callers on hold would be you.
I'd like to respond. First of all, I want to apologize to Greg yesterday for bringing up. I brought up something happened in his life. I shouldn't have. You were smart enough to stop me, but it was trying to set an example. I wasn't trying to be malicious. I'm going to say this about Greg too. I like him, but I believe he doesn't live in a reality world. He lives basically in a courtroom. He's not street smart whatsoever. I was born and raised in the Bronx, New York, in a real bad section, and throughout my life, I'm not as educated as him.
Yeah.
But life-wise, I believe I'm more educated than he is. Very naive, and he does jump. He just do a lot of emotion in everything he says. I mean, he's completely, sometimes he's irrational, and sometimes he does sound like a girly.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if that hurts his feelings, but he doesn't sound like a guy that really thinks things out, and he comes across more emotion than logic.
Mm-hmm.
The way I feel about Greg.
Yeah.
As for the Christmas tree, they should bury this guy, because you know how much that Christmas tree costs? The price of the tree alone and the destruction.
The tree without the decorations. Now, let me ask you, because the media, they're saying homeless as if that, oh, just another homeless guy. This is a little bit beyond your typical homeless event. I mean, do you think there's any political motive behind this guy's feelings towards Fox?
150%, because when you're in New York City and even at the airport, all you see is CNN. And all they do at CNN is completely knock anybody that's a mega. Fox News, even this president is still obsessed with Trump.
I mean, out of all the media Christmas trees in New York City, the Fox News Christmas tree is the least significant. That's why Fox is making a big deal about it all last week. Before the lighting, they're trying to make the Fox News Christmas tree like as relevant as the NBC Christmas tree. You know, and so I've never seen Fox News hype up their Christmas tree like they did this year, and then all of a sudden it's lit on fire. Come on.
Well, the example is going to be this guy should have, actually, if he is guilty, if he's been caught or whatever, he should be really, they should take the key and throw it away for a few months at least. It's a Christmas tree.
He could be out of jail before I get off the air in New York. You know, I mean, with the no bail and everything.
That's what I'm going to tell you. Look at the difference in what happens in New York City and what happens in Washington D.C. to Trump people and other people. One side of the ledger, you're thrown away in jail. And Greg says, what about a lawyer? What about a lawyer? Man, has he been watching what's going on?
Well, the media really aren't covering the, now again, none of us support what happened on January 6th. But when you are arrested in this country, all of us expect to have certain guaranteed to us, certain rights until we're proven guilty in a court. And that's being denied. And if you deny the basic legal rights to one group of citizens, it could easily be done to another group because whoever is in charge in Washington doesn't like that group at that particular time. So this is a very dangerous legal precedent.
I see it for what it is, but Greg says, well, what are the lawyers doing? That's what I'm talking about, what is street smart.
And you've seen the lawyers. These are not Washington lawyers.
Can't get in. They get to visit this guy, or they get phone calls from family. I mean, and when they want an inspection of that jail, they clean it up.
Yeah, and there's been talk of abuse by guards and everything else going on in there. And Marjorie Taylor Greene's desperate to get in there, and they're about to put her in the jail because she's harassing them so much to see the prisoners.
So the bottom line is that there is two sets of justices in this country. But it isn't black and white like Al from Colorado Springs is with. See, that's the one other thing I got to say, get it off my chest. There's a guy in Coral Springs that lives his whole life thinking about race.
Are you talking about Al in Coral Springs? Yeah.
I don't. And for him to even get it on your daughter and try to knock you, Brian Craig does not think of race his whole life. Brian Craig looks at everybody like they're the same human beings. And that's the truth, because if you know Brian, and I'm the same way. I do not look at color. I look at character. I'm sorry to say that, but I don't live my life like this.
Yeah, and Al in Coral Springs, I don't know how anyone in Coral Springs can think about anything else other than the great wings at Wings Plus on Sample Road. Oh, man.
There, and by the way, those wings are outrageous, and the hamburgers and everything else. Come on.
Well, let me rephrase. They're outrageously good and tasty.
Absolutely. And by the way, I believe that Al is smart enough to come to our side. And when I say our side of Americans, man. Look at this like Americans. How can you even stick up for anything? Exactly.
Hey, Richie, take care. You heard it from Richie the bus driver. Wings and the hamburgers at Wings Plus are out of this world, outrageously good and tasty. And usually I try to wait as late into the show as I can to talk about Wings Plus on Sample Road, because every time, like right now, it's happening to me right now. Anytime we talk about Wings Plus, I know this is a subliminal thing in my mind. I can smell the wings right now. I can actually smell. There are no wings here, and I'm not at Wings Plus on Sample Road in Coral Springs, but I can. They're so tasty. My mouth is watering, and I can smell the wings right now. Oh man, my stomach. I'm starting to feel hunger pains. Yeah, I know. And but you know what though? I'll tell you. When you go to Wings Plus, and you order the 50-wing platter, and when you order the 50-wing platter, here's a cool thing. You know, you can order 25 of one kind of wing, 25 of another. I like the medium hot wings and the lemon pepper the best, but they have many, many different styles of wings. But when you order the 50-wing platter at Wings Plus, they give it to you in a container that you can reheat in the oven, and they even give you the directions on how to reheat them. I've done that many, many times, and they're perfection when I reheat them at home. And I have had Wings Plus wings for breakfast many a weekend, and it's a great breakfast food. I'm here to tell you, everything at Wings Plus is homemade right on the spot, including all the sauces for the delicious wings. Wings Plus on Sample Road is about a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road in Coral Springs. When you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on The Steve Kane Show. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Good morning, Brian.
Oh, hey, Andrea. Wesley,
how are
super
you?
chat. Thank you. All right, I'm doing all right. How are you? Everyone thank Wesley for that super chat.
I am doing just great.
This is the Chi-Coms America.
I think it's hilarious.
Yes,
right, too.
it
It's
is.
so offended by somebody calling him a name when he has obviously no problem calling anybody a name
Yes.
and not apologizing for it. So if I were Richie, I wouldn't apologize. Well, I would apologize if he was going to attack, Greg to the situation. But,
Yes.
fair is fair. But on the Fox tree, I don't think that it had really anything to do with it being Fox News. I think it has everything to do with Christianity and the start of the holiday season.
Yeah, but there's Christmas trees all over New York City. Why that one?
Well, maybe it was the practice first.
Maybe. I don't know. I find Fox News' coverage of it strange. Fox News is not even really reporting it. All the main details I've gotten are from other news outlets, not Fox.
But I think that it's weird that the security guard let the guy get to the point where he was able to climb the tree.
Got 50 feet up. He was climbing a 50-foot tree.
How are you not stopping that at the onset?
I guess the security guard was asleep. I don't know.
But to me, it seems like, the start of a very Christian, a very big holiday season, and it's an attack on the American values because that's what they're about, right? It was the Patriot tree, so it's an attack on America. It's an attack on what the Christmas tree represents.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
That's my take.
Well, we'll find out. We'll know more by the middle or end of the day, I'm assuming.
I'm just going to chime in. Being a woman, you're absolutely right. Anytime that there's three women, there's dissension.
Mm-hmm.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
Something's always a problem.
Mm-hmm.
To see three women hanging out.
I don't know why that is, and I never really realized that growing up, but my wife talks about that often. A lot of times when we're watching, like, the housewife shows or something, it'll come up.
Well, they're a whole different level, right? Because they're very, as somebody I used to watch the housewives, they're so obsessed with status that if another woman gets an inch ahead of them, they have to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They can't let them get too far ahead. They have to pull them back down.
Okay. All right. Hey, listen, appreciate the call, Andrea. Okay, I just got a message. I'm not sure on the timing of this if he's there. Steve, are you with us? Not quite yet. Okay, good. I just got the message. How's it going? Steve Kane joining us. Oh, man. I think what happened was I was talking about Wings Plus, and Steve had to join us. But oh, my stomach's growling. I was talking about Wings Plus, Steve. Oh man, I'm here to tell you. So well, let's take a call or two, and then we'll get into things. Good morning. Good morning, caller. Oh, Wisconsin, Gary. Good morning.
Brian and Steve. You know, I'm going to chime in.
Good morning, Gary.
On the morning, Steve. You know, I'm going to chime in on, and I'm going to say it, girly man, Greg, because if he's so out of touch with everything that's happening with January 6th detainees, you know, why isn't he doing something pro bono, you know, to help these guys? But he's so out of touch out of the reality of what's going on with it. He doesn't even know half the topics of what's going on with, like, Marjorie Taylor Greene and a lot of the other ones that are fighting to get these.
Because he's a liberal, and he doesn't get his news. He gets his news from CNN, I guess. If you watch Fox, you watch Newsmax, you watch One American News, you know what's going on at the DC Gitmo.
Right. You know, but a lot of these people or these attorneys they're scared of getting their bar's license pulled because of helping them.
Well, and their law firms. Well, this is what President Trump ran into in Washington when he was going through the impeachment. People wonder, why was he using Giuliani, who's way past his prime? Because the big D.C. law firms would not represent him because they'd get cut. Their clients would leave them, okay? And that's what's happening to the January 6th protesters. That's why they got ticket defense lawyers working for them.
Right.
Nothing against ticket defense lawyers because I've been helped by them, but if I'm in federal prison, I don't call the ticket defense lawyers.
Right, because I mean, I've had for traffic tickets that I've had over the years, you know, I've had to use some sort of attorney. You know, maybe he might have been the best, maybe he wasn't the best, you know, but I mean, I've had to use attorneys for a lot of things to get out of parties.
When you're in federal court, like these guys, you have attorneys whose suits fit them and they don't buy off the rack. You got to have a tailor-made suit guy representing you in these kind of cases. And the lawyers I've seen on Newsmax, they're good people and they're doing their best, but they're not equipped to handle the Justice Department of the United States.
Know how to twist those laws a little bit worse than a lot of these people that are just doing something pro bono for something.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of research that people got to do. If you've ever walked into an attorney's office and you see the amount of books along their walls, Court of Appeals, Supreme Court books, state statutes, I mean, I walked in for, when we got our land, all these books, I'm like, ooh, I'd love to have this room. You know, because of all the books of laws that are there, and they even got some that are so old, you got to touch with gloves because the pages are so frail. You know, but I mean, if you have a great attorney, but there are people.
That's right.
A few months that.
Excuse me, I think we're missing the big picture here. The very fact that attorneys in Washington are intimidated to the degree that their careers will be destroyed if they choose to take a case like this shows there is something intrinsically rotten about the system.
Yeah. Yeah, now listen, hey Gary, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. It's time to check in with Janet Cimarelli over at AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace. Janet Cimarelli, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Hi, Steve. I'm here with that.
Good morning, Janet.
A really nice health nugget. Okay, so yesterday I talked about Allbiotic CDZ, and I just want to remind listeners that if you aren't taking your vitamin D, if you haven't added zinc into your routine because you think, I don't want to add extra bottles, I have too many things that I need to get done in the morning, I don't need any
Wesley,
more
$5 super chat. Everyone thank Wesley.
It's so easy with Allbiotic.
Attorney, I wonder if attorneys like David Schoen or Professor Dershowitz will be representing some of the breachers.
What you need to support your immune system. And remember when we
I like Dershowitz, but he's past his prime too.
Cold and flu season?
Mm-hmm.
It's compounded now, and you need to be paying attention to supporting your immune system. It's so great.
Yeah.
And you don't have a cold, you don't have a sore throat, you don't have the sniffles, you don't have that little funny headache, and you can do it when just simple vitamin C, vitamin D, and the mineral zinc. We have it all at AJ's, and to let everybody know, it's so easy to find us at AJ's. You can come into Festival Marketplace and you go in the main entrance, Mardi Gras entrance, walk as far back as you can go and turn right. And you walk 4 doors down and there we are, AJ's. I go to this party, oh my goodness, what will happen if I have this to eat or drink? So many things that we can take off your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Good sleep, the whole picture.
Yeah, and of course the Festival Marketplace, where AJ's Natural Wellness Shop is located. The Festival Marketplace is immediately east of the Turnpike on the south side of Sample Road in Pompano. And of course, Janet Cimarelli is a licensed nutrition counselor who will meet with you at no charge to discuss nutrition, discuss supplements. You can even bring your blood work with you, and she'll take a look at that and go over it with you. And even though it's no charge, they do ask that you make an appointment. And if you want to make an appointment by phone, call. And you can also order the great supplements at AJ's Wellness Shop over the phone. They ship anywhere. 954-317-1851. 954-317-1851. And, of course, Janet Cimarelli's radio show, Tuesdays and Fridays on our radio stations at 10 a.m. All right, Janet, have a great day. We'll talk tomorrow. All right, take care. All right, let's take our break for the top, and we'll be back. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Steve's here. We'll be back with the third and final hour of today's show after this.
AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Be right back, guys.
How beautiful and lush Florida is, with the abundance of trees and bushes. But if you want your home to look great, all of that greenery needs to be trimmed and well kept. So when it comes to trimming your trees, you want a pro, one who knows how to cut, when to cut, and the difference in each type of tree. And the best in South Florida are the professionals at GoPro Professional Property Care. With over 50 years of experience in South Florida, they know what's best for your trees and how to make your home look spectacular. With all the electrical wiring around, tree trimming is too dangerous to do yourself and requires a professional that you will not find by hiring just some guy with a truck who knocks on your front door. In fact, tree trimming is so much more than just cutting branches. It's about maintenance and keeping your trees healthy and having curb appeal. GoPro Professional Property Care is licensed and insured, available 24/7 for any tree emergency. GoPro does it all too: tree trimming, pruning, tree removal, stump grinding, root removal, lawn care, and installation. And that's just the start of what they do. Call Nathan. He's Steve Kane's personal tree trimmer, and now he wants to work with you. 954-680-7739. He's also available for condos, HOAs, and businesses. 954-680-7739. 954-680-7739. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. 954-680-7739. This is Brian Craig. I've been telling you about the great deals and incredible customer service at Friendly Tire on both new tires and used tires. One of our listeners, Antonio, went to Friendly Tire and called to share with us his experience of buying used tires at Friendly Tire in Margate. Good morning, you're on the radio.
Hey, yes, Brian, I want to give you a quick testimony about the tire place up in Margate, Friendly Tire. Friendly Tire is everything you said it would be, man. I went up there and got me some used tires, and when I went up there, man, he was very courteous. My whole family's going around, man. Everything you said it was going to be, man. I appreciate you for that, man. And Mike's a great guy, man.
Well, what's your name?
Antonio.
All right, Antonio. Hey, I'm glad we could save you and your family lots of money on tires at Friendly Tire.
Oh, no doubt, man. Thanks so much, man.
Do what Antonio did. Stop into Friendly Tire and find incredible deals on both new and used tires. Give Friendly Mike a call right now. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. And Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate.
The Steve Kane is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-COCAINE 1. That's 1-888-COCAINE.
All right, hour number 3 has begun. 3 minutes after 8. I'm Brian. Steve here. It's the Steve Kane Show. So, oh man, so what do you have you seen the video of the arson attack on Fox News' Christmas tree, Steve?
Yeah, Fox finally got around to mention.
Yeah. I don't know because, this. Let me tell you, the Fox News, they always have Christmas trees, but this year they made a much bigger deal about it. They spent about 5 days building up to the lighting ceremony that they did over the weekend, and it was a big build-up. And this is the first time this has happened after they did such a big build-up. It's got to be political. And a lot of the initial reports, look at the initial reports we got out of the guy that killed all the people at the Christmas parade, which that story's been disappeared, by the way. A lot of false things came out about him early on to cover. And I'm shocked that here we are, 8 hours after it happened now, almost. We don't even have the mugshot yet. You're telling me the New York Post in that building, where they do their police booking blotter every morning, they don't have the mugshot on this guy? Come on. The Fox News is covering up this story. They're reporting it slowly and not even getting into it. Fox News, okay, I woke up today at 3 a.m. and I saw the story in the New York Post that it had happened. I went to the Fox News website. It wasn't even mentioned. And Fox News does a live show at 4 a.m. So I waited for Fox News to come on. They did a mention, and it was like the 5th, 6th, 7th story.
It occupied a lot of the discussion.
And it was not their lead. Yeah, but it wasn't their lead. It was like the 6th, 7th. It was like they mentioned it. They mentioned it at the top, and then they did like 5 or 6 other stories, and then did a brief story on it later. And then they knew who did it, and they didn't report it. I don't know. There's a cover up of news going on here with the Fox story. But we'll have all the details. We already got a name on the guy. We don't have a mugshot yet, but it'll be out there by the middle of the day, I would imagine. We'll get something on this guy and find out if it was New York's dangerous. I saw that video of the Chicago mayor, Beetlejuice, Lightfoot.
Oh my God, she is a horror show. She looks like the army of the walk and the.
Well, they call her Beetlejuice. They call her Beetlejuice because she looks like. Remember Beetlejuice with Michael Keaton? But she was blaming the retail stores for the attacks and thefts. Yeah, and she's about as competent as one too. She was blaming the retailers for the robberies.
That soundbite, by the way, worth isolating.
Well, I don't have it now, but I'll tell you what she said though. She was blaming the retail stores for not locking down their merchandise and chaining down the expensive purses. There's a reason why that is. The reason that the retailers, with the where they're hitting these Louis Vuitton stores and stuff, the reason they don't chain down the purses is because that's dangerous. These mobs come in, they get nervous, and if somebody has to fumble around with the key to unlock the things for them to steal, someone could get shot. And the reason they don't tie that stuff down is so that the thieves get in and out quick and no one gets hurt. Mayor Lightfoot doesn't even, she's an idiot. She didn't have one negative word to say about the flash mobs of thieves.
The case.
Well, you know, there's a The left have always been soft on crime, but now they are advocates for criminals. It's a big transition, right? I mean, they excuse them, they advocate for it. It used to be radical leftists might advocate for criminals, but now it's like the mainstream Democrat Party are not just...
There's never been anything quite like this. I mean, no period in our history do I remember. And I was born and raised in New York, and I spent most of my life, especially if you count the early years, living in Manhattan, and it's unrecognizable. It's like who directed the Escape from New York?
John Carpenter.
John Carpenter. Oh boy. Yeah, John Carpenter. It's like a John Carpenter movie. It's looks like science fiction.
Yeah.
All over. There's no safe place. It used to be. It was just in the poor end of town or areas, whatever you want to characterize it. But now there's no place is safe.
Well, back in the 70s when there was a lot of crime, and the 80s, it's more dangerous now because in the 70s and 80s during high crime periods, the cops would still do their job. Now the police are afraid that if they arrest someone, they're going to lose their job and pension, and they might go to jail. So you don't have the cops. Yeah.
I mean, the point is they can't respond to all the calls because there aren't enough of them.
I know. I was watching the news this morning. I can't remember if it was New York, Chicago, or California, because they were doing a story on all the smash and grabs in all three. They were interviewing a guy who's been shoplifting multiple times, and he was bragging. He had a mask on to cover his face, but he did have a very recognizable birthmark on his neck. I hope the police... But he was bragging to the media about how he's been shoplifting. Because it must have been California where they have those dollar number amounts that's okay to shoplift. It's insanity what's going on. I don't know what the Democrats are thinking. I really don't. I've never seen it this bad. It's never been this bad. Ever. Ever.
You get the feeling we haven't begun to see the worst of it.
Well, like in the 60s, when you had the protesters in the 60s, you had grown-ups still running the institutions of government. Now the radicals are running the government. Right? We have all these George Soros district attorneys. We have these radical mayors and members of Congress. And Kamala Harris was raising bail money for the Antifa rioters that were arrested for looting last year. Black Lives Matter. Remember that? She had a looter fund to bail people out last year. So, I mean, we've never seen the Democrats do... I mean, Democrats... I remember when Bill Clinton was running for president in '92 when he was governor of Arkansas, he stopped his campaign for a day, went back to Arkansas to sign a death warrant of a mentally retarded man to execute him. So Democrats used to give the appearance of being tough on crime, but now it's like criminals are we're living in Charlie Manson's world, right? I mean, it's the criminals are now the victims. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Around in a barn with this is the Spawn Ranch. A lot of you probably don't remember the details of the Charlie Manson period, but Charlie was in jail. He'd been captured by this time, and only his followers remained at the ranch. And I was sitting around interviewing for a TV pilot we were doing, Squeaky Frome. And she said, Charlie has this great vision of the world. She said, Charlie tells us that all the people in jail are the good guys. And they're all locked up. And the regular people, the regular citizens, they're the bad guys. And one day, Charlie lives with the day that they open up all the prisons and let out all the bad guys, or all the good guys, and will put the...
Yeah.
In the jails. I mean, how prophetic it was.
Now, was that before or after she tried to shoot President Ford? Wasn't she? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I know. Our number is 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. We have a VIP guest scheduled at 8:30. I'm not going to say who, just in case we get moved to another day. But we only have a short time to take calls because we have a guest joining us after the bottom of the hour break. But, you know, with all this talk of smash and grabs, I've seen so many people on television telling reporters they're afraid to go to the malls, and I get it. And we hear about these supply chain crisis problems, which I've seen when you go to the stores. You'll have none of those problems when you go to MyPillow.com and use the promo code CANE and buy things at MyPillow.com. No supply chain issues and no smash and grabbers are going to bust in when you're on the website using our promo code buying things. And there, if you go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials. We're only about 2 weeks away from Christmas now. You will find incredible deals, including with the promo code CANE, 40% off the MyPillow My Slippers, which I have. Steve has a pair that he's getting for Christmas. They come in multiple styles and multiple colors for both men and women. You will love them. 40% off the MyPillow My Slippers with the promo code CANE at checkout. The MyPillow itself, the pillow that started it all, which will change your life. You know, that patented fill inside the MyPillow, what it does is it not only does your head and neck rest perfectly, it stops your head from tossing and turning at night. And when you toss and turn at night, even though you may not consciously be aware of it, you wake up, you get out of that REM sleep, and it's like having sleep apnea. That's why you don't get a rested sleep. With the MyPillow, you'll get a full night's rested sleep. The regular price on the MyPillow is $69.98. With our promo code CANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout, just $19.98. These all make great gifts. Whatever special you see at MyPillow.com, no matter what it says, you can take advantage of it with our promo code CANE. And the one I'm talking about a lot, because this deal is going to go away without notice. They added this here at my request for the holidays, but this will disappear. This is on the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper, which I sleep on every night. The 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, the thickest mattress topper that Mike Lindell makes, will change your life. I sleep through till my alarm goes off in the morning, and I never did before I had the MyPillow mattress topper. The 3-inch mattress topper with the promo code CANE, 50% off. The lowest price ever on the 3-inch mattress topper, 50% off with the promo code CANE. You can also order by phone, 800-716-4879. 800-716-4879, promo code CANE, K-A-N-E.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope.
If you're new, make sure you guys subscribe. Click that notification bell, and everybody in there, like the video if you've not already done it. All right, that helps a lot.
Flat roofs and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call Laporta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at LaportaContracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to the Steve Kane Show.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalwood Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsboro on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
If you suffer with diabetes, did you know there's a 25% chance that you will develop a foot ulcer at some point in your life? And foot ulcers, when you have diabetes, can lead to severe health consequences up to and including amputation. Now, Medicare recognizes the importance of preventative foot care and has provided coverage for those of you who are at-risk patients I want to introduce you to my good friends at the Soul
Please.
Authority. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own pair of therapeutic shoes made specially for diabetics. You're probably not aware that as a diabetic Medicare recipient, you are entitled to one pair of high-quality diabetic shoes with 3 custom inserts per year. These are not the ugly Frankenstein shoes. These are name brand shoes. They're stylish. They'll provide you with the extra width and extra depth to stop diabetic foot problems before they begin. Oftentimes, amputation due to diabetes is preventable, and one of the preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. Call the Soul Authority at 954-597-7060 or online at thesoulauthority.com. That's THESOLE authority.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on radio. Just search for www.
All right. 19 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian. Steve is here. It's the Steve Kane Show. I updated people at the top of the show, but I'll update people just tuning in now, and you, Steve. You know, one of our very loyal listeners, Sarah from Colorado, has been in the hospital with COVID for over 2 weeks, approaching the 2.5-week mark. And 2 nights ago, they put her on a ventilator. And I was talking to Sarah last week. She was watching us on YouTube from the hospital bed and text messaging me last Thursday and Friday. And then over the weekend, she was put on the ventilator with the COVID. And if everyone could please keep Sarah from Colorado in your prayers. She was with us on our last cruise. And I know her pretty well, as does my wife. She's a friend of ours as well. Oh, yeah. Oh, you know, one thing about it though, and this is what I was wondering. Okay, she's in the it attacks the lungs. That's why she's on a ventilator, and she's in Colorado. You know, that's mile high above sea level. It just seems to me, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know, but it seems to me that they should bring COVID patients down to sea level, like we're here in Florida, where the air is easier to breathe. You know, because I've known people.
Once you're on a ventilator, she's
oxygenated. Yeah, as much as you can get.
Mixed in.
You know, last year during the height of the pandemic, I knew one person that got COVID, a relative of mine who works in the airline industry and flies every day. That's how they got it. But I didn't know, last year I didn't know anyone who was hospitalized from COVID or died from COVID last year. We lost our friend Todd, but that was a tragic car accident, our friend Todd. But I didn't know anyone that was hospitalized from COVID at all last year or died. And this year I know 3 people hospitalized and 2 have passed. And I don't know why it's worse this year, why more people have died this year than last year. Last year there were like no treatments, right? And I don't know, but I do know this: the people I know that have had it, it is not fun. It is not fun. It is, and you know, every single person that I've known, Sarah told me this, okay, too, before she went into the hospital. Every person I know that has had COVID really, really bad has told me that the pain inside their head feels like a sword is put inside their head. It's really a bad, I mean, it's just an awful experience. But I don't know, I don't have any theories on it, but I just don't know why it's worse this year than last.
Or, I mean, the whole, I don't want to go into it, but it's a scandal, the way the whole thing
Oh, yeah.
beginning and politicized. But the whole thing is if you catch it early, I mean, Dr. Janae, bless her heart.
Yeah, she was really sick.
She was in real trouble, but the second she realized she had it, she found a doctor that has the therapeutics. What did they call it?
Monoclonal.
Monoclonal. And
Steve Kane Show.
got it right that same day and started
Okay.
the treatment. She survived it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah.
You can't mess around for 3 or 4 days wondering what you're going to do, because if you wait those extra days, that's the difference between the monoclonal treatment working and not working.
Well, you know, yeah. Yeah. Well, I tell you, I may be in the Guinness Book of World Records at the end of this year for the Floridian who has been tested for COVID more than anyone else, because I've been tested many times at Any Lab Test Now with Boca. And you've been tested too over at Any Lab Test Now with Coral Springs. There's lots of Any Lab Test Nows around. The only two advertising on the Steve Kane Show are Any Lab Test Now with Boca and Coral Springs. They have same-day PCR testing, by the way. But I've gone over there multiple times for COVID testing. I've taken my daughter over there. We go over there for our COVID testing. We get the results right away. And, you know, any time one of us in the family have a sniffle, we're over there getting COVID testing, because you get the results right away. And it's better to know, not wonder. And then if you know, if I went over to Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Coral Springs and I had a positive COVID test, that day I'd be getting the monoclonal, you know, through our contacts. So don't wait. Don't put it off. If you have any suspicion at all, go over there. They have the lowest prices and no appointments necessary. But a lot of people need to, I did not know this, Steve, a lot of people for work have to get tested every week for COVID. And they have the same day PCR testing if you need that. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood over by the Coral Square Mall. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is in the Sandalfoot Plaza. That's where the Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road, north of Hillsboro, on the east side of 441 State Road 7. They're open Monday through Saturday at both locations, and the same-day PCR testing is also available on Saturdays as well. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian, and Steve, of course, is here with us. We'll be back right after this. Steve Kane Show. Oh, hey, hold on. All right, we're back, and on the line, Steve, we have your therapist in mind, Dr. Janae Lemaski. Dr. Lemaski.
How are you, my dear?
Yes. I'm doing well, thank God. I'm doing well. I listened this morning. I don't start for another 5 minutes or so, and I heard that Sarah from your Steve King cruise that I was on with you guys is in the hospital, and I wanted to wish her well. I actually just reached out and texted her, but I haven't heard anything.
Well, she's in ICU on a ventilator, so you probably won't. But you know, let's keep our fingers crossed and pray. I know.
Friends from New Jersey were on ventilators, and they got off and they came home. I even had a patient that was on a ventilator, and she also came off. I mean, she was fortunate, and she's doing fine right now. It took a couple of months.
There's a listener of the show who's a emergency room hospital doctor, and he contacted me off the air about this, about Sarah, and he says there's a very high rate of people. It's a common misconception who do well and are removed from the ventilator. Depends on what other health issues you have. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to get into everything, but yes, I do know that. Yeah. I just don't know how long after she had it did she get. We had a. I hope they call. We had a call yesterday, Dr. Lemaski. We gave her your number, and I mean, she was like on the ledge of the building when she called this program yesterday, and she, a 59-year-old woman, and she was pretty borderline, wasn't she, Steve? Oh, it was a dramatic call. Oh my goodness. We gave her your number because she's going to therapy here locally, but it's not working. No.
Feeling the anxieties and the depression of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that you can get. Yeah, actually, if you call Dr. Lemaski and Al and I have a radio show on our radio station Saturday at 9, and I call this show Free Therapy because you can call in and get some free therapy from Dr. Lemaski.
In the afternoon, and it's a history show. And what do I mean by that? So Donald Trump was the subject of massive amounts of attacks while he was in office. And on the other side, on social media, they canonized him as a saint. But you never really got what he was doing on a day-to-day basis in the Oval Office. So as a historian, as you know, I've written a lot of history books, 19 million of them in print. I was frustrated. So I convinced Donald Trump to do this tour and to put on the record, to get the facts. All right, what's Putin really like? Does he speak English? Is he a nasty guy? That kind of stuff. Very mesmerized. Tremendous Christmas gift. And we're looking forward to it, and I hope all the Florida Panthers come because it's a good team.
It's a great team. It's a great team, Bill, and it's going to be some event. It's this Saturday, right? At 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
They changed the name of that arena like every hour on the hour. But right now, Sunrise, everybody knows where it is. Again, people, it's not around. All right, we're not going to recreate the election. Not going to do any of that. It's going to be all new things that you have not heard. And this is the toughest assignment, Steve, that I've ever had in my career. Because we're going to be in front of, there's going to be more than 10,000 people there. And deal with a very flamboyant individual.
Be friendly with Tom, and the information on our website is steveshow.com. Ticket information where you can call and make sure not to miss it. It sounds like a one-of-a-kind event that it's a unique opportunity to see not only Bill O'Reilly, but of course Donald Trump as you've never seen him before. Because nobody interviews like Bill O'Reilly, that's for sure. To the chase of what's going on here. Bill, I've been around a long time. I'm an old-timer like you. I was raised in New York City back in the 50s. New York is near and dear to me. New York is also unrecognizable from what I knew. It's like something out of a John Carpenter movie that was the great movie Escape from New York. Is it my imagination? I mean, we're all trying to hang on till Donald Trump, till that election comes. And Donald, remember, that's not in a couple of years yet. You think the country is going to make it to that long without him?
Yeah, number one, Steve, you're lucky to be because you're out correct. New York City And that's because, for whatever reason, the voters are putting progressive limits who have gutted the criminal justice system, alienated the police area, that kind of as faltering to such an extent that in the midterm election next year, 2022, the Democrats will lose a massive amount of power. Now, Biden's a strong president anyway, and if he has both the House and so he'll be there for 2 more years, but he's not going to get anything done at all.
So that makes this into the second half of building better bull stuff that they're doing.
Yeah.
That makes this thing we. Okay.
No, you're right.
I'm relieved to hear you say that because I know people like it. And I don't think it's limited to New York. I think it's spread.
Ed has done a pretty good job in Florida in neutralizing balloons. Okay? Go to Chicago or LA, I think totally out of it. I said, we do a TV thing every night on BillO'Reilly.com. I said to my wife, you don't have to be a partisan, you don't have to be conservative, you don't have to be a person, you don't have to be any of that. Just be a human being. Just look and see how thousands of Americans are being killed because of progressive policies. And I literally, thousands are dying because the progressives will not enforce the law because the law, of course, is racist. Okay? So if you just step back to the insanity that Joe Biden has embraced, Biden, he doesn't object to any of this. He's on board with all of it. Open borders, sure, come on in. Everybody come on in. Test for COVID. We'll test everyone. We're not testing anybody sneaking in. Bill, I tell my listeners, this is an old show. Revolves around the hope that Donald Trump brings to the but what has become so corrupted? For example, this thing with Hunter. I mean, everybody in the world knows what he's doing. There are no secrets in it. The government moves, nobody moves. These people get arrested at the
January 6th.
Yeah, and they're afraid they can't get a decent lawyer in Washington to represent them because the lawyers are afraid of retaliation from the government. I mean, not much to think about that. Because the lawyers, that's frightening. I mean, this system, tell me it's not too far gone.
The system can come back, but there are so many problems and they're mounting by the week that it's going to be difficult. And that's what I talked to Donald Trump about on Saturday at the FLA arena. So he wants to...
Well, give us a preview.
All right, so
give us a preview.
He's building a war chest now. He can't declare until January 2023 because of campaign finance laws. Voters are backing him if he announced. So you got to assume that he is the main contender to go up again. I don't think Biden will run again. I don't even know if Biden's going to make the next 3 years. So he'll go up against the progressive left because the progressive left controls the Democratic Party. So it'll be Trump against the progressive left. Whoever they take it, I think it'll be Kamala. Nobody did or did not do in those 4 years he was president on the record. So we're going to have TV cameras. You're going to see every Trump of the show. There'll be 4 cameras. We're going to have TV cameras. And then
Hey, thank you.
he gets the tape. That's it. No one else in the world will get the tape. And you know the baseline. So I'm going to ask him about, inflation. It's a logical question. This time last year, you were still president. There was no inflation. And now, we have inflation at the highest level in 30 years. What does happen? See, ask those kinds of questions. And so I can't emphasize enough I think he'll eke it out. But then there'll be a primary system. And then, of course, Kamala would enter the primaries, Democratic primaries, as she did last. Well, she got. But that's right. So they got somebody else who's going to have to emerge. And the Democratic Party is controlled by the radical left now. So like Trump, if he just moderates it a little bit, if he runs on his record, your prediction, I think, will come true, Steve. He'll win. But if he continues to create turmoil, there are a lot of independent voters who don't want that.
Have you ever discussed this with him in private?
Yeah, I don't call President Trump or any other president. I can tell you, to Bush younger and to President Trump, they've all asked me my opinion on certain things, and as an American, I give them my opinion. I don't know. Well, to be honest, that's how I see it. Yeah.
I want to give out the information. Yeah, this is Saturday coming up at the Panther Arena. So give them the information one more time. And a long phone number with them to get tickets.
Okay, so this is the strategy here. There are
What's
tickets
up?
available.
I'm going to call him. I'm going to take a break real quick.
And you can call the arena, the FLA Live Arena. You could go to Ticketmaster, BillO'Reilly.com, and we have a link for the box office. So
There.
pop, you're there. And we'll load up at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. There'll be music. I mean, it's going to be quite a show. And it makes it
Two, and palladium is down $12 at $1,780, and oil back up over $72 a barrel.
Wow. Wow. And, you know, William Youngman opens up weekdays at 10. You can stop right in, whether you're going in to buy some of the metals in coin form or bars, or do some Christmas shopping with the great collection of jewelry and watches they have. The address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com, or give them a call, 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, take care. Bill O'Reilly dropped a big bombshell, Steve. So, you know, he said that President Trump is amassing a war chest. And he hasn't announced yet because of the campaign finance rules that go into play when he makes the announcement. So we got a scoop. That was as close as you're going to get before an official announcement to an announcement that President Trump is running. He's just waiting to announce. And there's no one closer to him on this right now than Bill O'Reilly, since he's doing this tour that starts Saturday here. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, I thought what he said was interesting about, okay, there's no video recording is going to be permitted other than what Bill O'Reilly is doing and he and Trump will each have copies of it that they're going to use. And I'm telling you, this is going to be in a few different cities. It's starting here in Florida, and it's going to be in Houston and elsewhere. They're doing, let me see, I have all the information on it. I'll pull it up and go through it with you, Steve, because no, I can't find the other cities, but we're most concerned about the one here anyway. They're doing about 4 of them. The first one's here in Sunrise at the Panther Arena on Saturday. And to me, it seems like these events are kind of the pre-show for the presidential announcement. That he's doing this series of interviews with Bill O'Reilly as a way to introduce that he's running in 2024, that they're going to use them for commercials, maybe a television special. I'm not sure what it is. But there is a connection between his presidential run announcement and this tour. There's a definite connection to it. Saturday at 3. Yeah. Yeah. No, we're gonna go till the end. But our number, if you'd like to call in and comment on Bill O'Reilly, what he had to say about President Trump, or anything else we've talked about today, you are welcome to do so at 1-888-GO-CANE 1-465-2631. And I just was sent. No, this is not. I don't think this is the same person. No. Somebody sent me something. We're still looking for details on the arsonist that set off the fire. We got his name and everything, but we don't have a mugshot yet. Somebody sent me a story about somebody else that is not him. But I'm watching the fire of the Fox News Channel Christmas tree, and I don't know. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how you start a fire that well. I thought these tree ornaments and things had some. I guess it's a live tree, but it's not easy to set a tree on fire like that with just a cigarette lighter. You know, these trees, they're wet. You know, it's wintertime. They're wet. There's moisture. When this comes out, he came there more prepared than they're letting on right now. This isn't a guy with a big lighter. I get him, you know. Well, if it's the arraigning, do they still do arraignments? Do they still have arraignments in New York, or the cops just let you free? This no bail thing. I don't know how it works. Well, the judge, if it's the arraignment judge in New York City, is probably a Democrat. I doubt he's a Fox News guy.
Fortitude and lunacy for a judge to let this guy loose. But, I mean, that would set off a huge chain reaction. I don't know who's going to turn. I mean, see, the one thing Bill didn't cover. I mean, Bill is fine, and I'm gets Trump to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what, Steve? Listen, this is the thing. Okay. Yeah, they're just frightening. Steve, we're out of time. So, do you want to sign us off for the day?
Time's flies when you're having fun. Anyway, all that information about Bill O'Reilly's show will magically appear after the show on our website, SteveKingShow.com. Be sure to get out and support both Bill O'Reilly and our wonderful President-to-be Donald Trump. And we will see you tomorrow morning. Until then, on behalf of our technical advisor, Tyler Kane, my partner, Brian Craig, I am Steve Kane, as you know. We see you tomorrow. God bless America.
This is Brian Craig.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. You know, the audio glitch, that wasn't me on my end. That was a YouTube glitch, which happens sometimes. As soon as we go to Bill O'Reilly, the audio glitch kicks in. Can you imagine? And I'll tell you, you know, that interview with Bill O'Reilly, how that came to be. I got a call last week from Bill O'Reilly's people asking to come on the Steve Kane Show. So that was pretty exciting. You know, I was very surprised to get that call, because usually an interview like that, I'll make the call, but and see about it. But they actually called us, which was absolutely amazing.
For Friendly Tire in Margate.
All right, now, guys, before you go, make sure you like the video. I got to run, but I'll talk to you soon. All right? Thanks for watching, everyone.